Hey you guys, welcome back to Smiley Said It. We're going to be talking about Nikki from Save the Last Dance.
Cool outfit. Slamming outfit. Oh. Sara, how you get your leg to twist like that?
I used to dance.
You used to dance.
It's really not a big deal.
I think it is.
The movie Save the Last Dance came out in 2001, and it is definitely one of my favorite films from the 2000s because, baby, it has every single commentary you can think of when it comes to social issues, especially when it comes to the racial divide, such as what I'm going to get into when it comes to Bianca Lawson's character, Nikki, who we all enjoyed on the screen, but also she was pretty much the antagonist. Sean Patrick Thomas plays Derek, and Kerry Washington plays Chanel. I don't know who was in charge of naming her, but the spelling was insane. Chanel, why did y'all spell her name like that? Julia Stiles plays Sara. Integration in the 2000s was so great. You either fit in or you didn't. So Nikki, who I was for Halloween all the time, baby, and I ate that, and she reposted me on her Instagram story. That's as close as I'm probably gonna get to Beyonce.
Oh well, all you can do is laugh.
Our good girl Sara moved in with her dad after losing her mother, and she had to settle in with a new high school. We all know, a lot of us that has went from the suburbs to the hood. It's a really big change. But Sara was not so much my problem in the movie. And I know there's commentary on a white girl trying to dance in hip hop.
And that's what makes it look like hip hop.
And getting into a relationship with a man that is black.
You do not want to get in trouble out here. This is Trump, everything.
Derek and Sara like each other. They eventually start to stay after school to learn some moves for her to practice on the dance floor when it comes time to. The moment that happens, Nikki is not happy about it. Nikki's like, watch me squash this shit. She went over to the dance floor and just started. Sara was doing a little cute two-step. Then Nikki came and messed it up and said, "This is my man."
And my man, thank you to my man.
Sara backed off. She's like, I don't want no beef. She clearly sees that Derek and Nikki clearly had something going on before she arrived. Let's get into the point where she actually gets into a fight with Nikki and why Nikki does not like her. They had a little fight during volleyball practice. Nikki hit her upside the head with the ball. Then they got into a fight and they had to stay after school. And they talked it out. Nikki pretty much told Sara, it's white girls like you that think they can take our black men. Of course, it got, spicy. And pretty much Sara ate her up by saying, you know what, just don't hate because I'm better than you, basically.
The girl did it to her damn self.
Julia Stiles went from Save the Last Dance up into our recent film, Orphan Part 2. The girl has range. Malachi is the friend. Pretty much he said white and black don't mix. Malachi was the antagonist of the film. And Malachi and Derek fell out because Derek outgrew Malachi's behavior and his shenanigans. And Derek is like, I'm trying to go to college. And you can run around like a dingbat in the streets, but I'm not going to be joining you. So I guess we're not cool. Malachi felt like Derek chose Sara over their friendship, which in hindsight he kind of did, but for the betterment. I mean, love who you want to love. Even watching the movie back in the day, I didn't care that Derek was black and that Sara was white. I thought it was very interesting, how he taught her hip hop. Her final act at the end, we all can remember the live your dreams is not as hard as it may seem. You gotta work to get the dream, whatever. Eventually, we don't really get to know what happens in the end with Nikki and Sara. Nikki told her how she felt, and Sara told her get over it because I'm not going anywhere and Derek likes me and screw you, girl, bye. My issue is not that Nikki confronted her about her issues, it's the fact that it surrounded a man. The whole beef cattiness over a guy is literally so 2000s, low vibrational plate.
Eat a plate that looks like this. You couldn't even pay me $1 million to do that to myself. Oh my God. I deserve better than that. That's low vibration.
It really is, fighting over a guy. Because I honestly feel like Sara and Nikki would have been cool outside of the whole thing, because Nikki appears to be biracial, if we're keeping it real. You know, in the movie, I'm like, you don't have a white parent somewhere? If Sara was black, would Nikki feel like she could boss up on the girl, you know, over Derek? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, that scene where she was like, watch me squash this shit, and she went and squashed the shit. Malachi looked way better than he did, even though he was a bad boy, but I was just like, girl, you really fighting over Derek. Meanwhile, Chanel had her friend Diggy. Diggy was also a white girl, and she didn't have any beef or any issues with anybody. But I guess, like I said, Nikki didn't confront her about being white, and she belonged in the friend group. So it was really just kind of like, is it just about Sara being white? No, it was more so about centering a man, and it had to be Derek. And yeah, Sara and Derek ended up together. She did get into Juilliard. It's messed up because Chanel actually at one point questioned Sara's intentions with being with Derek as a, you know, white person. And she pretty much took in what Nikki was telling her. And she doubted her friendship with Sara. They got, you know, they made up. Sara and Chanel made up. But I was like, dang, girl, you really just gonna let Nikki just all of a sudden, girl, all right. It wasn't like Sara came into school and was being racist and like being mean and just acting weird, but she literally made race the reason why she didn't like her, when it just so happened to be because she liked Derek, and Derek was like, I'm good on you. So yeah, and I chose this person who just so happens to be white, and you want to make that the actual reason why I don't want you, but that's not it. You just suck. Shout out to everybody on that cast, because that really is a classic. Save the Last Dance. Nikki is our girl. So I'm out, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Bye.